Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing about the applications of Maxwell's thermodynamic equations. This is part 2 with respect to Joule-Kelvin or Joule-Thomson effect. Now we know Joule-Thomson effect is what? It is actually the temperature change in a real gas. Please remember a real gas. So that we will realize why we are saying a real gas. It's a temperature change through a throttling process. What is a throttling process? When you pass the gas through a valve or a porous plug, there is a change in its temperature. This is the basic principle behind all refrigeration processes we see now. And I am once again repeating, it is for a real gas. Okay, there we had discussed that in the beginning that the Joule-Kelvin effect has constant enthalpy when we were discussing thermodynamic potentials. So with that basic, we will move forward. Now where we will do the enthalpic part, that is H is equal to what? PV plus U, where dH is equal to du plus PdV plus VdP, such that dH is equal to del Q. This will be del Q plus VdP. And what is del Q? Del Q is nothing but TdS plus VdP. So far so good. Now then we will apply the second TdS equation. So where TdS is equal to Cp dt minus T dou V by dou T dP plus VdP. And from this we will proceed further. Once you get this equation, Cp dt is equal to dH plus T dou V by dou T V at constant P minus V dP. And we will rewrite this equation in the equation number 1 form. Again we know T is a function of P and H. So taking the derivatives, partial derivatives. So dt is equal to dou T by dou P H dP plus dou T by dou H P dH. So this is our equation 2. Now comparing equation 1 and 2, we realize. Let us compare equations 1 and 2. See. So the constant P part and the constant this part, we realize that this and this are same. So we get dou T by dou PH is equal to 1 by Cp T dou V by dou Tp minus V. We know dH part will be 0 because we are talking in terms of a constant enthalpic process. So what is dou T by dou PH? Dou T by dou PH is, let us take it as mu, which is the coefficient, which is dou T by dou PH, which is equal to 1 by Cp T dou V by dou Tp minus V. Rewriting again, we get this expression dou T by dou PH is equal to V by Cp, and this term is gamma, which we know already, that is 1 by V dou V by dou T is gamma T minus 1, and this is our equation number 3. Now let us apply, we have said in the beginning that this throttling process, Joule-Kelvin coefficient is for a real gas. I have mentioned it many times. Why? Let us see. See, we know PV is equal to actually nRT. For 1 mole, we will take PV is equal to RT. V is equal to RT by P. So, T dou V by dou T. T dou V by dou T is equal to V. So, mu is equal to 1 by Cp. Let us go back to this equation. Mu will be what? 1 by Cp. V minus V, which is 0. So, what does this say? So, this says that in the case of a perfect gas, the Joule-Kelvin coefficient is 0 and no change in temperature is therefore produced by forcing the gas through a porous plug. This is the highlight of the story. So what is it? In the beginning itself I have told Joule-Kelvin effect or Joule-Thomson effect is for real gases. It's not working for ideal gases. And because that we have proved now. That for an ideal gas, the Joule-Kelvin coefficient is 0. That means no effect or no change is observed. Now let us try to observe in terms of an ideal gas, or sorry, observe in terms of an actual gas or a real gas. So what does it happen? How does it happen? Let us see. We know real gas is not simply PV, it is V plus A by V square, V minus V RT. Let us try to expand it. On differentiating with T, P being constant, what you will realize, you will get these terms. And again let us rearrange these terms in terms of dou V by dou T P with respect to P. So these terms will come out to look like this. That is R by taking it to the other side. P minus A by V square plus 2AB by V cube. So with these we get all the terms on one side. Now what is dou V by dou TP? Dou V by dou TP, try to rewrite. It will be P plus A by V square minus 2A by V square plus 2AB by V cube. Once again look here. This is very crucial. P minus A by V square plus 2AB by V cube. It doesn't serve the purpose unless you put it in some similar form. So this is a similar form. So to get P plus A by V square, you must take another minus A by V square. So this will come out to be P plus A by V square minus 2A by V square plus 2AB by V cube. What is P plus A by V square? P plus A by V square into V minus B is equal to RT. So this will be RT by V minus B minus 2A V square V cube V minus B. Because multiply, this will take it common, then you will get minus minus, this is plus. So this arrangement you will get it in this form. Now you are having a V minus B, that is a real gas coefficient also. Now multiply T, take rearrange this term in this form. T dou V by dou Tp V minus B and 1 minus 2A by these terms. 2A by V cube V minus B whole square RT. This comes out to be in this form. Now this is an expansion. 1 minus 2A by V cube V minus B square RT minus 1. Here one thing also we have done, that we will continue. Now V minus B, take the expansion. 1 minus x raised to minus 1 is 1 plus x. The first term will be, so this will be 1 plus 2A by V cube V square RT. One thing I have done is when you are V minus B square by V cube, when you are dividing, I have ignored this B part because V is much greater than B. When V minus B is an independent term, there is no problem, I am keeping it. When you are dividing it V cube, I'll better take V square. So this will be V square by V cube, so that you are only getting V. So finally the expression boils down to V minus B 1 plus 2A by VRT. Yes, whatever I have done, I have mentioned V much greater than B. This means V minus B approximately equal to V when you are dividing it, or when you are comparing it with V cube. Otherwise, you tend to keep the things as such. Now substituting this 4 in 3. Now what you get? Mu is equal to Cp V minus V 1 plus 2A by RT V minus V. So this again approximately, when you do that, it comes out to be 2A minus B, V minus B approximately equal to B in this term, second term. Because the V minus B is the first term, V minus B 2A by RTV is the second. In second term only you do that, minus V. So finally this comes out in this form. So mu, what is mu? Mu is dou T by dou pH. So bring it this side. And finally, what is dou T1 minus T2? So this will be T2 minus T1. So it will be minus of T1 minus T2 approximately equal to 1 minus Cp 2A RT1 minus B P2 minus P1. This is mathematically so very simple. No issues. Now once you do P1, P2 pressure on two sides of the porous plug, T1, T2 temperatures on both sides of the porous plug. Here 2A by RT is a critical term and is equal, if 2A by RT is equal to B, then this whole term right hand side and goes to 0. And then this mu is 0. That is the Joule Kelvin effect is 0. Normally what will happen is, this is known as the inversion temperature. 2A by RB is the inversion temperature. If T is greater than 2A by RB, there is rise in temperature of the gas. If T is less than 2A by RB, fall in temperature of the gas. In the beginning itself, we have said Joule Kelvin or Joule Thomson effect is what is the temperature change in a real gas when passed through a porous plug. So there should be some condition. That condition is our inversion temperature. So similar deductions can be drawn. We had said mu is equal to V by Cp gamma T minus 1. So here whatever is 2A by RB, that is denoted by this term. So gamma T greater than 1, that is cooling, mu is larger, mu is cooling, and when gamma T less than 1, mu is heating. So with this we have realized that using the the TDS equations and the Maxwell's equations, we have tried to deduce the inversion temperature for Joule Kelvin effect, and realized that that for an ideal gas the effect is 0. For a real gas, these are the two conditions. So that's it. Thank you.